Over the past few years, I've noticed a massive shift in the way that men approach their emotions. It's becoming normal for men to open up to their male friends, to say things like, "I love you, bro," to give each other hugs and have real conversations about what's going on in our lives. And this wasn't always the case. So why is this happening now? Why are men starting to lean into their vulnerability in ways that previous generations avoided? I want to talk about this, but first I want to share an experience from my own life that's always stayed in the back of my mind. There was a point in my life where I was in a relationship and I opened up to my then partner. I remember saying that I was feeling down and anxious that day, and I didn't even know why. I just was, and I wasn't blaming her for the way that I felt or even looking for her to fix it. I just needed to share it. But her response caught me really off guard. She told me, "Why do you always want to talk about your feelings? I wish you were more like my father. He keeps everything to himself and you'd never know if he's stressed or not. And that's so manly." That conversation stuck with me. It made me see how much pressure men feel to stay stoic, to keep everything bottled up and to never show the cracks in their armor. And maybe this mindset comes from a time when men literally had to fight to protect their families. Back then, showing vulnerability could mean exposing weaknesses that could jeopardize survival. But for a lot of us, times have changed, and now vulnerability amongst men isn't a liability. It's actually a strength. Growing up, I always had a platonic female friend or two, and I'd always feel so much more comfortable talking about my emotions and life struggles with them than I did my guy friends. I'd feel less judged. With the guys, a lot of the time, I would feel like we all were wearing this hyper-masculine mask and we didn't want to take that mask off. So we weren't having conversations like this. But now though, things are different. I've noticed men, and not just the sensitive types, but the more alpha male types too, are having these real, open conversations. It's like there's this unspoken permission to be vulnerable all of a sudden, to admit when times are tough, and to build each other up rather than tear each other down. And there's research to back this up. In 2019, a survey by Movember, a men's mental health organization, found that 74% of men feel pressure to act emotionally strong and not show weakness. But here's the silver lining. It also showed that 60% of men said that they've started opening up to their male friends over the past 5 years. The younger generations like millennials and Gen Z, they're leading the way. They're twice as likely to discuss their feelings with other men compared to boomers. And that's a huge cultural shift. I think there's a lot of reasons for this shift. Mental health awareness, changing cultural norms, and maybe even the challenges of modern dating. But what's really exciting is we're seeing examples of men who challenge the old stereotypes while still maintaining their masculinity. Take Jason Wilson, for example. He's the author of Cry Like a Man and a notable figure in the men's mental health space. At a glance, he's this traditionally strong man who's also a skilled martial artist, but he's also deeply vulnerable and open about his emotions. He's showing men that masculinity, strength, and sensitivity can coexist. And I think that's a message that we need to hear more of. But let me take a moment and speak to the women watching this, because you play such a big role in this too. If you want your partner to feel safe opening up to you, the best thing that you can do is listen without judgment. Don't try to fix things right away or dismiss what they're feeling. Just hold space for them. Sometimes all we need is to know that we won't be seen as less than for expressing what's going on inside of us. It's the small things like letting them know that you're there for them, or even just validating how they feel, that can make such a big difference. At the end of the day, this isn't just about men, it's about creating stronger, supportive relationships for everybody. And men, we've got to take this same advice when we're talking to our partners as well. I want to end this video by saying To the guys out there watching this, keep telling your bros you love them and keep creating safe spaces for them to talk, because you never know just how much somebody might need that space at that time. And to everybody watching, why do you think men are opening up more these days? And have you noticed it in your circles? Drop a comment below, let's chat about it. And if you like this video, if you feel like you got something out of it, I'd appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and share it with a friend if you know someone who you think might get something out of it. See you guys.